Bitcoin exactly 2 years ago today was at 36,500. And what are we sitting at? 102, 103, 105. We're dancing in that region. We were at, well over 120. So you had almost a 200% return in a 2 year period of time. And then people talk about the volatility of Bitcoin. Hey, I'll take that volatility. Give me more volatility if I can get more return. And I think that's how crypto people are wired. If you can't handle volatility, stay out of cryptocurrency.
Yeah, just like any other asset, the more it goes up, there's speculation around it, so people get interested in it, and then they try to buy the asset. When it goes down, you tend to get a little bit more negative news. But that's across every asset class, crypto, ETFs, stocks, shares, etc.
Well, CrowdStrike and Palo Alto Networks also moving lower after Anthropic disclosed what it says is the first documented case of an AI-orchestrated cyber attack. It's a major headwind for these cybersecurity names as companies realize that they're not just fighting hackers, they are now up against AI that works around the clock. So what we learned today was that in September, a Chinese state-backed group jailbroke Anthropic's Claude model and then used its agentic capabilities to automate a sophisticated global espionage campaign targeting governments and major corporations. Now, Anthropic says it marked a shift from what it previously described as vibe hacking, where humans were still directing the attack. But in this case, AI was very much in the driver's seat, finding weak spots, breaking in, stealing sensitive data, and doing it all with barely any human involvement. Anthropic says this is a turning point, warning that AI has moved from assistant to operator, and unless defenders adopt the same tech, they risk falling behind. But I will say, Mel, a rare bright spot is cyber insurance. Names like AIG, Chubb, and Travelers moved higher after the report.
The impetus for this deal is I actually love watching UFC. And unlike a lot of the other sports, there's no scoreboard. Obviously, someone gets knocked out. That's a W. But other than that, you kind of have to discern what the judge is going to say. It's not that easy. And this idea of looking at Polymarket while you would watch the fight just made it so more engaging. Because you could go and see how likely someone is to win and how it's changing in real time. And all credit to Dana, Ari, Mark. They're forward-thinking, they're creative, they understand this disruption and this new technology. And we had this idea for a scoreboard where you could see the live Polymarket odds inside of the fight. And we made it happen.
So, Shane and Dana, the other big question is, what kind of betting is there? Is it just going to be betting on the ultimate outcome? Are there going to be sort of bets that can be taken inside the match itself based on certain things that could happen?
Yeah, so look, of course, it starts with who wins. But what's exciting about our approach is that you can actually buy and sell. You can trade just like a stock throughout the fight. And I think that that'll create new user behavior and open up a new way to engage where you can buy and sell as the fight swings, the momentum swings. So we'll start with that, and then we'll take it from there based on customer feedback and what the people love.
Dana, tell me about your thoughts just about the prediction markets versus traditional sports betting, how you differentiate those things, and what your thought was behind this.
Well, we're involved in both, but one of the things that I'm always interested in is how to improve fan engagement and, technology when it comes to production, and I always like to be first. So this deal made a lot of sense to me.
It's a classic version of the innovator's dilemma. Ultimately, the way that we think about it is these events.
Some of these states are starting to say these things are the same, and we're not going to give out sports licenses for this if you're going to be doing it through this other mechanism.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. That's for him to figure out.
Look,
Shane, how do you think about that?
It's a classic version of the innovator's dilemma. Ultimately, the way that we think about it is these events, if you're going and placing money on the outcome of the event, that is a financial market. And right now, they're structured as these entertainment products where there's this sort of regulatory mode, and it's state by state. And the app that you're using, that company controls the pricing, and they can cap you if you're making too much money, and they can profile you and give you different odds. That's not how a financial market should work. That's backwards. So from our point of view, this is the way that things should work, and likely there's no way to hold back the river. So what we're focused on is just having an efficient market and being fair for users where they can buy and sell. And like I've said, what we've noticed is the user behavior is just different. When you can buy and sell easily and you go and and present it as something that is more like trading than it is like this, convoluted practical sportsbook, which is awesome, and that's a great product, and a lot of people love to use it. But I do think that there's an alternative way to present it, like a market, and that's what we do.
Sports betting player FanDuel partnering with derivatives marketplace CME Group in a predictions market platform that's now set to be released next month. It's going to allow users to bet on financial metrics and sports outcomes, even in places where sports gambling is illegal. Now, prediction markets are federally regulated and considered trading platforms, not gambling platforms. The CEO of FanDuel's parent company telling Jim Cramer that the sports prediction product won't be available in areas where users can access FanDuel sports betting. The state of Nevada disagrees, considers sports prediction markets a form of gambling. That state's gaming control board now announced that FanDuel has surrendered its license to operate in Nevada as a result of all this, and said DraftKings has also agreed to withdraw all pending applications for sports wagering in the state. Neither company offered their online sportsbook in that state, but FanDuel had a license as an information services provider. It's very complicated, a lot of different component parts here, and DraftKings has a license application as described as, quote, inactive at the moment. Now, in a statement, unlawful, and said this conduct is incompatible with their ability to participate in Nevada's gaming industry. So you have sort of two forms of gambling. You have what used to be the traditional form of gambling, which was state regulated, like Nevada. Now you have this prediction market situation. Some of these guys want this all to come together, which is what I always thought, by the way, would be the ultimate outcome, given that there's so many.
Basically what they've just said is like, forget it. We'd rather be able to operate in the predictions market than be able to operate in the state of Nevada.
Exactly. And so this is going to get very complicated very quickly, but it also means I would think that maybe Polymarket, maybe Kalshi, maybe any of these guys either all get merged up. Either Polymarket and Kalshi ultimately get into the sports business, gambling business, or the sports gambling guys get into the prediction market business, and it's all one thing. I just can't see how there's like a separation.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. And I come back with that video just to make you think. And make sure you're joining the Patrons. If you're not a part of the Patrons, make sure you're heading to Cash App. Also, go like and follow the TikTok. More videos to come. We had Bitcoin, crypto, and stocks take a beating today. But like I told you in crypto, we would get a pullback. And then also AI would start getting a pullback because guess what? It's definitely time to build. So we will be pumping and dumping for the rest of November. And then starting December 1st, the Fed is going to start buying the short end of these treasuries, which is going to give the markets a little out. And don't forget that we had to refinance trillions of dollars by year end. And then also I have a feeling that Japan is going to start raising rates. And when Japan starts liftoff, it's going to send a rumble through the global economy. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. And remember, your life is an illusion and TV is your reality. CNBC says that a Chinese group hacked into Anthropic's AI, and the AI actually did a cyber attack. You can't make this stuff up. And like I always tell you, the drums are beaten are going to go from physical to cyber. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. And then we have these prediction markets. It's like I'm going over this every single day. And they're trying to say they're not gambling. We know for a fact that's what it is. It's called gambling. But they're going to use a different term, so therefore they can push it. And we see these prediction markets taking over. And they definitely have an agenda, and eventually sports will be included. You can clearly see that the old guard is being squeezed out. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. And Becky just happens to pull out a newspaper with a penny. Remember, guys, no more pennies. We're going to a cashless society, and this is just the start. The penny existed over 232 years. And guess what? The sheep could care less. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. And now we have the big setup for real estate being tokenized and put on blockchain. You have the Arrive platform backed by Jeff Bezos, where you can buy shares in single-family homes. Remember, they don't want you to own anything, but they definitely want you to be happy. And a lot of these homes are owned by corporations. If you own your home, you know you constantly are getting phone calls asking to buy. These corporations are buying up all these single-family homes, which should be illegal. But over these next 3 to 5 years, housing prices are definitely going to plummet. And who's going to be left holding the bag? That's right, of course, the sheep. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And then we have Elon Musk speaking about these robots. How long it's going to take? He says 10 years. If you match up Waymo with Tesla, Waymo is way ahead, 10 years ahead. And the same thing goes for these robots. We know in China, these robots are already ready to scale. They are about 10 to 20 years ahead of what Elon is talking about. So while you're looking at Elon with these robo-taxis and robots, we see China is already ready to lead this fourth industrial revolution, where the robots, algorithms, and drones take the economy over, pay each other with crypto, and the sheep go inside the metaverse. And remember, the crypto teacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. But that's all I have for you. Don't forget about the books.
But I thought illegal gambling, no one needs it anyway. You need a bookie.
Right.
Until the recent stories that there's the same 4 families are still involved in all the.
But that's like rigging it, right?
I know, but what is how much is left?
The bets that you can't make somewhere else.
Bets that are bookies still in business around the country. I never had one. Some of my friends did have.
My grandfather used to have a bookie.
Yeah.
And we would go, and the guy would literally sit at the bar at lunchtime. I won't say where.
Why?
He's no longer alive. I mean, my grandfather isn't.
Why don't you say which bar?
Well, because who knows? Maybe these people are all. Maybe they're all still in business. Oh yeah, the place is still open. Anyway, and then you'd go.
Off camera.
And there'd be an envelope that would get exchanged one way or the other, depending on what was going on that week. And my grandfather would bet on usually the football games on the weekends. And then Monday or Tuesday there was
I'm sure there's
transfer.
a number. I'm sure there's a number by some Wall Street firm that follows the gaming industry that knows exactly what the percentage of illegal gambling is left. What would you guess? 50% is left? 10%? 80%? What is left from that business?
I don't know.
It's gotta be tiny because you can do everything.
I would think it would be tiny.
You know what? There's not a lot left of pennies.
Not a lot
the last
of pennies.
one, they've minted the last pennies yesterday.
It costs 3.5 cents to make a penny.
3.7 cents.
3.7 cents.
Yeah. So
by the way, it's still
no more
costing.
pennies, but all of a sudden, seeing this makes me want to go out and hoard pennies.
So you brought that up because that's basically what I'm betting on a lot of these things.
By the way, a nickel costs more than a nickel to make.
Yeah,
Really?
that might be next. Tens a day. Does anyone use cash anyway?
No, that's what I mean. I'm going to go find pennies.
They gave me some change the other day. I'm like, keep it. And then you put it in that little thing. It's like, I don't know what. Yeah. I guess. Why do prediction markets make sense
for us?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me give you the quick history on how we got into the event contract prediction market. November of last year, around the election time, they became permissible. And so the first thing we did there was on the election, and the usage, number of accounts we opened, and the number of contracts we traded was just explosive, like 600 million contracts in a week around the election. And from there, customers said, this is an amazing new offering. We'd love to, get into entertainment, GDP, CPI, even sports, which has become a big component of it. And I know you guys were talking about it this morning. So we're probably at about 1,300 contracts right now and across 7 or 8 categories. And there's tremendous excitement about it and interest from our customers.
And you love, crypto too, but prediction markets were faster new business than crypto?
Fastest growing business we've ever had.
Is it
prediction
gambling?
Is it gambling?
Yeah.
I don't think it's gambling. I don't. But again, the lines, I think you guys talked about this morning, the lines are getting blurred in some areas because you're seeing some of the OSBs come into the prediction markets. You're seeing that kind of go back and forth. And I think, I think look, from our customers' eyes, they're young, 30-some-year-olds. This is the sweet spot for them. They want to be able to do all this.
Do they see a differentiation between placing a bet on, I don't know, who's going to make the next touchdown and deciding which stocks they want to own? Is there a differentiation in that mentality?
I don't think there's differentiation in that mentality because they just want to express their opinion and put an investment behind it. It's really interesting because the question we constantly get asked is who's trading these? Yeah. And it's an entirely different audience for economic indicators than it is for cultural, than it is for sports, than it is for election. So it's kind of like we run the gamut of customers that have interest in this.
But how do you see this all playing out?
Well, Arrived is a startup backed by, among others, Jeff Bezos and Mark Benioff that lets investors buy and sell shares of single-family rental homes for as little as $100. So rather than investing in a public REIT, they can build their own portfolio of properties, which are managed by Arrived. Not only do the properties generate income from rents, but they can appreciate over time. Now, because the properties can each be owned by hundreds of investors, they are taxed as REITs. Investors pick and choose homes like this one from more than 500 properties in 65 cities. Some properties have more than 1,000 investors. So far, roughly 850,000 investors have collectively invested over $330 million in Arrived homes, according to the company. Now, Arrived is launching a secondary market platform where investors can trade their shares of homes in minutes with each other. This allows them to exit or expand positions quickly. This new platform comes at a time when traditional home buying has stalled and investors are finding it increasingly expensive to purchase single-family rentals on their own. Home prices and interest rates are still high, but prices are weakening. I asked Arrived CEO Ryan Frazier what happens if prices actually go down. He said the company has become very choosy about its markets and has stopped using long-term leverage in the portfolio. So the majority of properties on the Arrived platform, he said, are owned by investors with 100% equity, adding that for those that do have mortgages, the average interest rate is below 4%.
You said recently tens of billions of robots, but that's decades away.
At least 1 decade away.
It's got to be more than that.
It's going to grow very fast.
Why do you think that?
I think humanoid robots will be the biggest product ever. The demand will be insatiable.
You said that
everyone's going to want one. It's like basically who wouldn't want their own personal C-3PO R2-D2?
No,
everyone's
right. You've said that, and your goal. You've also said is to produce 1 million robots. I think by 2030. That's what I had you on the record as saying.
I think that's a reasonable target.
And then start towards sustainable abundance, which you can get into. But I wonder. We've been talking about autonomous and how long it takes to train the automobile to be able to be the equivalent of or exceed human capabilities. But what about these robots? To the extent that how much training are they going to need to actually to be able to do various different types of tasks? Isn't that something that's going to take a long time? Yeah.
It's going to take a lot of compute resources, and it'll take time. I think that there's certain threshold breakthroughs that we think we can achieve, where if Optimus can watch videos, YouTube videos or how-to videos or whatever, and based on that video, just like a human can, learn how to do that thing, then you really have task extensibility that is dramatic.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is, it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of the huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we could have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting at more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets.
Now, it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and when the dealers have to step in to save a treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
Cryptoteacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 Kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get home stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing, they were still getting that free money. What are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis, whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, We have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.